the celebration of the 25th anniversary of the creation of NDDC. Ladies and gentlemen, we started the celebration of our 25th anniversary with technical.
Of the Niger Delta Development Commission. Of course, the Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC, was established in the year 2000
in February
by the
2025. In the month of April, we came up with the Niger Delta Sports Festival in Akwa Ibom from the 2nd of April to the 9th of April. And we are going to culminate the celebration of the 25th anniversary from the 6th of July to the 12th of July. Yesterday, in the beautiful city of Akure, we had a very fantastic, awesome Thanksgiving service and a reception party. Today, the 7th of July, we're here to have the World Press Briefing here in Asaba. On Wednesday, the 9th of July, we will be in Owerri, the capital of Imo State, to celebrate our youth and women in a special conference. On the 10th of July, being Thursday, we will be having the Arts and Cultural Day in Port Harcourt. That is where, as Niger Deltans, we will exhibit our culture. We will showcase to the world who we are, a traditional setting, which we refer to as the art and culture of the Niger Delta people. On Saturday, the 12th of July, we will have a special section, which we refer to as the plenary. It is in that section that the stakeholders of the Niger Delta region will gather to look at the issues of the past 25 years, the challenges and the way forward for the next 25 years. We especially invite all of you to be in that plenary section because it's going to be breathtaking. In the evening of that 12th, we're going to have the gala night where we will honor those who have made impact in the Niger Delta. We will give them awards, and we will also have a beauty pageant for the best, most beautiful girl from the Niger Delta. We have various prizes that we have put together for that event. And so I'm assuring all of you here who have come to Asaba to also find time to come to Port Harcourt and visit the other events that we're going to have. From Wednesday in Owerri, Thursday in Port Harcourt, and Friday, the final event in Port Harcourt. Once again, I say welcome to Asaba and enjoy the 25th anniversary celebration of the NDDC. Thank you.
I thank you very much. We apologize for the glitch when you started, but as a man who understands his assignment, it didn't deter you from delivering the information you wanted to deliver, to include setting the tone for all the things that are to come in Owerri and Port Harcourt and all other parts of the Niger Delta region. Also to inform you that the tradition and culture of the Niger Delta will be on full display on one of those days. Keep your eye on the ball and join us. I'd like to encourage those to the left of me to please move forward and fill those spaces that are there. Help us. Can the ushers please move forward and help them to move forward for us? While that is going on, I'd like to quickly announce the top echelon I have on my list of the media that are here. Chairman of Board and Managing Director, we have in the house Mr. Ayo Adewi, the Executive Director, News, Nigerian Television Authority. We have with us here Malam Hamza Idris, the editor-in-chief of Trust Newspapers. We're expecting perhaps this day's deputy managing director. If he can make it, we'll be pleased. We have the acting editor of Business Day newspaper, Mr. Ololade Akimrele, who is here with us. Can we see you, please? We have the acting managing director of AIT, Mrs. Dupe Oladende, who is here with us. We have Mr. Oguntola Sunday of The Nation, Ms. Stella Dean Jacobs, TVC News editor-in-chief, is making her way. Mr. Adeniyi Adeshino of The Nation. We have Mr. Bayo Aweshimo, deputy managing director at Rise TV, who is here with us. Would like to introduce the NUJ president in representation. Would like to welcome Mr. Oyetunji Abioye, editor of the Punch newspapers, who is here with us. We have Mr. Ambrose Oko, general manager News Channels TV. We have Mr. Muftau Ojo, editor-in-chief News Agency of Nigeria, who is here with us. Would like to welcome the representative of the general manager NTA International, Ms. Fakeye, is here with us. The director of news of FRCN, Ms. Husseina Baka, she's here with us. To welcome Mr. Kolakpo Olakpoju, the editor of The Cable, is here with us. We have the representative of the editor of The Guardian, Mr. Sayande. We have the representative here with us. With us, the head of CGTN, China. She's here. CGTN. We have Mr. Abogu from NTA Benin. We have Mr. Otabo Friday from The Nation Benin. We have Adeyinke Adedipe, Punch Benin. We have Osarose Sado, who is representing the head of station, AIT Benin. And we have Ike Frank Moore, head of station, Channels TV in Benin. Mr. Chairman, sir, Mr. Managing Director, we do have quite a number of other media personalities of different newspapers and editors who are here, whose names may not be in my purview. But I'd like us to give all of them a resounding round of applause. We're here gathered for the purpose of transformation and innovation, and for the journey so far. Thankful. Today, would like to talk to us about the trajectory of the NDDC in the last years so far. Saddle. He is a passionate, self-motivated scientist and administrator, knowledgeable in many ways. We believe that he is a man of great youth leadership, having done so many things in conflict management in the past. He is also at leadership and personnel management. Investment, he has a very good track record in investment. He is well placed to make a difference at the Niger Delta and beyond. Permit me, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, to take a couple of quotes from this man before I introduce him. Quote, "We need meaningful engagement of stakeholders to form relevant and sustainable partnerships. We need to be innovative in responding to the fast-changing landscape." April 25th, 2023, PPP Summit in Lagos. Quote, "We are moving away from transactional to transformational development because that is the only way we can remain and give hope to our people and endure their sustainable development." March of 2024. And finally, I am confident that I will not fail to meet the expectations of the people. Please jam your hands as I welcome the Managing Director of the NDDC, who will be delivering his scorecard at this point today.
the executive chairman, the chairman of NDDC, the executive director, finance and admin, the executive director, corporate services. Let me, on behalf of the executive director project, apologize for his absence because he's in the meeting right now where we have partnership with the NLNG. So that meeting is holding right now in Port Harcourt in NLNG office. That is why he's not here. Let me also specially recognize all the state representatives that are here of the NDDC and the zonal reps that are here too, who form the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission. Directors of the NDDC, who are our foot soldiers that have worked hard for so many years. Most of them have been working tirelessly before we resume. They are the institutional memory of NDDC. They are the ones that have guided us and put us through. They are our support and our strength. I want to specially recognize you people for your hard work and commitment. Staff of the NDDC that are here, the media, for whom we're here because we need to also keep you abreast with what we are doing in the NDDC. Today, let me stand here to pay special tribute for those stakeholders, leaders, fathers of this region, in whom their vision, their struggle, and their sweat brought about the NDDC that we're enjoying today. On this note, I want to recognize all of you and welcome all of you to this World Press Conference. NDDC is 25 years old. July, which is going to be on Saturday, it will be 25 years since NDDC was formed. NDDC was an offshoot of the then UMPADEC, Oil Mineral Producing Areas Development Commission. In 2000, NDDC was passed as an act of parliament. Because the then president did not assent to the bill. So the parliament took it upon themselves to pass this act. So NDDC is very, very special because NDDC is an act that belongs to the people. So, and because it belongs to the people, it was actually in response to the crisis in the Niger Delta as at then, due to the agitations of our people and to ensure that there was peace in Niger Delta in order to bridge the developmental gap. So as at then, the needs assessment of what the needs of the people of NDDC as at then mattered to the then management and board of NDDC. And I can assure you that they responded accordingly. And in responding accordingly, what were the demands of the people then? The people needed roads, they needed water, they needed good schools, they needed hospitals, and they needed light. So the people, as at then, due to this demand, try to reach out to the localities by ensuring that in communities there were concrete roads for the people to walk on. Schools were built in these communities. Jetties were built. Hospitals were built. Electricity was provided. And so many. Water was given to the people. These communities in rural areas, not basically the urban settlements, because then NDDC did not focus on the urban areas. And in settling in these rural communities, I can assure you that today, as we speak, most of the government presence you see in rural communities in the Niger Delta are NDDC projects. That is to say, NDDC have come a long way and NDDC have actually reached out to the people. But as we proceed, people started expecting more. And in expectation of more, people wanted to see roads linking communities, linking states. We started graduating to the level of looking at regional projects that will link 2 states, 3 states, and the rest of them. So NDDC started working towards that. Haven't reached out to the local populace because most of those who were actually behind the agitation were not people that lived in urban areas. They were people that lived in the local communities. Haven't attended to these local communities. NDDC started looking at bigger projects that will link communities, that will link states, and these bigger projects, NDDC conceived a few. And most of these projects that were conceived, most of them were started, a lot of them were not finished. However, when people talk about most of these projects that were not finished, it is because people should ask questions. It is not because those who conceived these projects never meant to finish them. But one of the major challenges NDDC has had in the past has been the high turnover of management and board. That from our records, it's possibly just one board, the first board that completed its tenure. But since then, no board has ever completed a tenure. Some spend 1 year, some spend 2 years, some even less. Like as at between 2015 to 2023, I was the 9th chief executive of NDDC. That gives you an idea of how NDDC have really suffered high turnover of management, of which if that happens, many organizations, one person comes and starts something new, and because most times they're politicians, they also want to shine. They start something new and new person comes. Abandoned. But we also want to thank Mr. President to say, let us go and ensure that we make that difference. Assuring us of completing our term, but ensuring that we must give account of our full tenure. Mr. President has shown so much love to the people of the Niger Delta. On behalf of the board and management, we want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity to serve our people, guiding us rightly, using us to show love to the people of the Niger Delta. It is on record that immediately Mr. President emerged as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, NDDC was one of the first boards that the president constituted. That is to tell you how Mr. President takes Niger Delta seriously and how he loves the people of the Niger Delta. And after constituting the NDDC board, Mr. President did not only constitute the board and just allow us to go and work. Mr. President engaged us and directed us on what to do. Mr. President directed the board and management of NDDC through the minister then to ensure that we complete all abandoned projects. 2, to ensure that we sign a performance bond. We signed a performance bond during our retreat in Benin to ensure that, yes, there is an agreement between we, the board and management, and the president. Under that guidance, we decided to go to work. What did we do first? Haven't gotten the directives from Mr. President on what we need to do in spreading the renewed hope agenda in the Niger Delta. We decided to engage in state. We met with chiefs, traditional rulers, leaders of the region. We met with youths, we met with women, trying to pick their brains and getting their thoughts on what they think we should do as a new board and management that will really befit what the Niger Delta people deserve. Having gotten their ideas, we also decided to put all these together to form our work plan. The NDDC, we now decided to X-ray where was NDDC before we came in and where we want NDDC to go to. We decided to come up with the rewind to rebut policy. The rewind to rebut policy we came up with was to ensure that we go back to where NDDC started from. Look at the mistakes of the past, the challenges of the past. Look at possible areas where we can also improve on the success of the past and correct those mistakes. We decided to engage previous management, especially the MDs and chairmen of board, to get that direction. We did that successfully. I haven't gone through the rewind to rebut, where we're able to see before us the challenges before us and also the prospects. We decided to now come up with a policy of transiting from transaction to transformation. When we say transiting from transaction to transformation, this is actually built on the basis of the Renewed Hope agenda. Because we believe for NDDC to progress faster, we needed a lot more of transparency. And transparency is what brings about probity and accountability. We looked at those areas where we had failed. We had to look at our contracting process, our procurement process. First thing first, that is one area where people had accused NDDC in the past. We decided to digitalize our procurement process by ensuring that nobody can fake our award letter. Today, if you have the NDDC award letter, snap the barcode, you know that yes, nobody can come back to you to say, you gave me fake award. We decided to sanitize every process that was actually giving NDDC a bad name, starting from procurement. We digitalized that. We also decided that on assumption of office, on our very first management meeting, we realized that we had over 50 persons in the management room. And when you look at the act, the NDDC Act recognized specific directorates. So when you add those 11 directorates, then the youth and women and procurement, which is by law recognized, we now come up with 13. We decided to say we have to maintain those 13, which are the ones that are recognized by law, and now made every directorate that was created before we came to go under the directorates where they were working. That is to tell you how administration in NDDC was battered. We felt we needed to reorganize and restructure. So we now restructured that, sanitized that, and we did not just only leave it at that level. Having done that, we decided to also engage KPMG to design our governance advisory policy. Because we believe the life of every organization like NDDC, if there is no corporate governance policy guiding the institution, whatever we do today, those coming in future will come and abuse it again. So we decided to institutionalize most of this policy by getting KPMG to come and at least design our governance advisory policy. That document, as I speak, it is ready. The SOPs are ready. We are waiting to get a date that we are going to launch this document, where we are going to invite all of you again to be part of it, so that you can also have our building roads. We also want to enlarge our coast by also getting funding from donor agencies and other foreign organizations that also come to the aid of the Niger Delta. And for you to do that, they must see transparency, they must also see compliance. That is why we're putting all these structures together. So having done that, we also had to look at our staff. The staff of NDDC, at the time we took over, morale was very, very low. We felt there's no way we can move at the pace we wanted to move if the staff are not willing to move with us. And what challenges were they having? The staff of NDDC, most of them, for 4 years, there was no promotion exam, no promotion, their promotion was stagnated. The staff of NDDC, for 4 years, their allowances were not paid, so morale was very, very low. So through the directive of the board and the discussion with management, we came together. 1 year, within that 1 year, we paid off all outstanding owed by the NDDC to the staff of NDDC. And as I speak, today we are up to date based on our payment and our commitment to our staff. Once that was done, the staff, we are fired up and ready to work. They became committed, and we also decided to take advantage of their commitment. And in trying to also ensure that we comply with Mr. President's directives, we looked at a few projects that were abandoned that NDDC needed to complete and commission. We looked at some bold projects. First, the Okitikupa electrical project, which that project was to give light to the entire Ondo South. The entire Ondo South was in darkness for 15 years. Started that project. We gave the contractor all the support, and as you know, last year, that project was commissioned. Today, the people of Ondo South are enjoying 24 hours power supply. In Mufi, in Edo State, we also completed another injection substation, which was completed and commissioned. In Akwa Ibom, we also commissioned the Ibuno Bridge linking Ibuno to Eastern Obolo local government in Akwa Ibom State. Then in Ogbia local government in Bayelsa State, the Ogbia Nembe Road, which links 14 communities between Ogbia and Nembe, which is a 27.1 kilometers long road with about 50 culverts and about 7 bridges. The NDDC was able to complete that project. As at the place we picked it up, and that project was also commissioned last year. It was a project in partnership between NDDC and SPDC anyway. So we also want to say thank you to SPDC for keeping that their commitment and trust in NDDC, for partnering with us to complete that project for the benefit of the people of the Niger Delta. We haven't completed, after having commissioned all these projects, we're also fired up to also take some more new projects, because we felt we needed to balance between completing old projects and we tasked ourselves that whatever project we start, let us be sure that we are going to finish those projects. So a few of those projects were the projects that you saw us commissioning this year. This year, we took 10 kilometers of the path of Abraka to Bini Road, which was the first phase. We completed that part. Then we also commissioned a 7.5 kilometer of road in Wangele in Imo State. Then we also went to Obigbo in River State, another 7.5 kilometer network of roads, which we commissioned. And we commissioned recently, which you saw, the training center in Bielsa, and we also opened our state office. Talking about state offices, before we came in, NDDC had only one state office. The one in Imo State is the one NDDC in Imo State inherited from Ompadek. So there was really no other state office that you can say any state had. But today, as we speak, that of Cross River State, we have acquired and we have commissioned. That of Bayelsa State, people saw some 2 weeks ago. And that of Delta State is ready. We have commissioned, but they are still test running the elevator. Once the elevator is being test run, we are going to also commission that project. That one is also ready. And that of Akwa Ibom is also coming up very, very fast. So the task we have is to ensure that all the states, all the mandate states must have their own state offices, and NDDC must not rent state offices anymore. All these things I'm telling you are things that have happened within the last 2 years. That does not mean in the last 25 years NDDC have not done much, but I believe what the media here wants to hear from us is what we have done in the last 2 years. Because, you know, we're here for accountability. We felt as part of, you know, the 25 years anniversary, having thanked God, we have to come to also give accounts to the people whom we're serving. Then when we give account, we go to Owerri to also have the Youth and Women Conference, where we also need to hear from them again to know what the next phase of NDDC should be like, getting their own ideas before we go back to Port Harcourt for the larger stakeholders meeting. So that is the trajectory we're taking. So now, you know, another major thing we also, as a team, looked at too, having gone through our needs assessment, we saw that one of the major challenges the Niger Delta had in terms of security was because most of our communities were in darkness. And we looked at the possibility of taking light to most of these communities, and we realized that due to the high level of vandalism, it will be very, very expensive. But first and first, let us see how most of these communities will be illuminated. We came together as a team and came up with the Operation Light Up the Niger Delta, using the solar street lights to ensure that most of our communities are illuminated. And I believe most of you can attest to the fact that the Operation Light Up the Niger Delta scheme has been so successful that it has reduced criminality in our communities. It has also improved commerce in most of our communities, and our communities are safer as it is today. So that is one major success of this administration, while we're also carrying out other projects. When it comes to education, we also believe that digital education for our young children is also very, very important. So we decided to acquire 45,000 of the U-Lesson tablets, which have been distributed to primary and secondary schools across the Niger Delta. These tablets are preloaded with the curriculum of these the schools, and it can be used both online and offline. So for those children who do not have money to access lesson teachers, the tablet becomes their lesson teachers, because what those other children of the bourgeois can afford, they can also have it there too. So it's just to bridge that gap so that we don't create inequality in our society. We have also, in education, also continued with our foreign scholarship scheme, which I think has been very, very successful. Today, the NDDC foreign scholarship scheme stands to be one of the best in the country because of the number of distinctions we've been producing. This is because the process has been very, very transparent. It is not subjected to any political interference, That is why those who get it, they come out to be the best. As I speak to you, last year, when we went to Coventry for the graduation of our foreign scholarship students, I was pleased that they gave us the front row to sit as NDDC, because NDDC turned out the highest number of distinctions, of about 17 distinctions. That is to tell you the level of success record we have from our foreign scholarship program. But because of the high demand of the foreign scholarship, which we are doing just 200, and 200 we know is really, small, but we're also looking at the maths, because each beneficiary is entitled to about $40,000, so it is very, very high. So hence, we decided to also expand it by the board graciously approving that this year we should continue, we should start with the local foreign postgraduate, local postgraduate scholarship. And local postgraduate scholarship is also, we have just advertised, and I think the advert will be ending sometime towards ending of this month. Then thereafter, we'll start the CBT test before the orals, and through the same process too, which we have credible consultants and lecturers across the region who have done a very, very great job to ensure that they get the best amongst the best. So, having said that on education, we go to health. In health, our free medical mission stands to be one of the best too across the Niger Delta, because just recently we have had thousands and thousands of surgeries on the field. We have attended to too many persons across the 9 states, and most of our people are very, very much satisfied with the process of which we take. Last year in some of the states, we have attended to too many persons across the 9 states, and most of our people are very, very much satisfied with the process of which we take. Last year in some of the states, after the 7 days of the free medical program, some states demanded for extra time, which we did. And with that pressure, we decided to say, okay, we are going to now do it twice annually, as it against the once annually, which we used to do this. You know, our partnership on this is also with the Renewed Hope initiative of the First Lady of the country. And I think through her guidance, she has also ensured that NDDC does the right thing when it comes to the area of health of our children, our women, and our fathers. So through her partnership, NDDC is working seriously on that. The free medical health mission for this year, as you are aware, was flagged off by the First Lady herself in Bayelsa State this year, before we now start the state-by-state free medical mission. So the NDDC, within this period, I can assure you, we are working very, very hard to carry out the mandate of the Renewed Hope. For us, most of our achievements this period, we call it dividends of renewed hope. Dividends of renewed hope because we are doing our programs and our activities according to the guidance of the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. And we're very, very careful because Mr. President is very, very interested in what happens in NDDC. And I can attest to the fact that in all our achievements today, we actually give the credit to Mr. President for being the one that has actually stood in that gap to ensure that we do whatever we're doing. So I think Mr. President deserves the applause and commendation from the people of the Niger Delta for being the first president that has really put his eyes on the ball to ensure that NDDC does the right thing. Apart from Mr. President, from the Niger Delta, we're also lucky to have a minister who is also an engineer, and because he's an engineer, he tries to ensure that our projects are of quality. The minister himself also takes it so personal on everything we do. Apart from the minister, we're also fortunate to have the president of the Senate, who is from the region, who ensures that our appropriations are taken by express. So I think he has also done very, very well. He has been a father to us. We also have other stakeholders from the region who have also bother themselves about what is happening in NDDC and ensuring that we do things the right way and ensure that we don't make mistakes of the past. One of those stakeholders is the former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, who was a governor as at when NDDC was created. So for him, NDDC is personal to him. He has also called us severally to ensure that he gives us that guide. We also have the Minister of the FCT, whom we see as a role model. Because of what he's doing in Abuja, we're also trying to catch up. So we see him as a role model, and he has also once in a while called us to advise us on the approach we should use. So we also have a National Assembly where we have two young people, a gentleman and a young lady as House Committee Chairman and Senate Committee Chairman who actually are giving us the best of cooperation, and I can assure you that they've really given us the kind of cooperation that have kept us where we are today. So I keep saying that we cannot also achieve most of these things we're achieving without their support, without them also, coming down to see what they can do for us. So all these people are stakeholders in the Niger Delta. We also talk about the men, the women, the youths who have that faith in us, who believe that let them give us that time to see what we can do. Because if they also try to destabilize us, we'll be distracted. They have also given us that, they have also had that patience and had that confidence in our performance, and that is why they are waiting patiently to see what we can do. We are not perfect as humans. We might have areas of mistakes, but we are very, very open to learning, and it is those lessons we take that also helps in improving our services. So I stand here before you, await your questions that we'll also take, which will form part of our discussion, and those areas probably where you have doubt in our operations, I can assure you that we are willing to take all your questions. Thank you.
Was the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the NDDC, Chief Samuel Ogbuku, reeling out his achievement between the period he assumed duty as a man and head of affairs of the NDDC. He mentioned some of his achievements to include improved staff welfare, payment of promotion arrears. He has also, within the period, inaugurated 10-kilometer Abraka to Benin Road, inaugurated 7.5-kilometer road in Imo State. He has also inaugurated a training center in Bayelsa State, among other projects. He says, the NDDC offices in Cross River and Bayelsa states have also been inaugurated, while the Delta State office of the NDDC is under renovation. He pointed out that the problem of insecurity in Nigeria is as a result of darkness. As a result of that, the NDDC flagged off Light of the Niger Delta project by providing solar street lights to almost all communities in the Niger Delta.
National Assembly. He has mentioned the stakeholding governors. He especially mentioned the former governor of Delta State, who was here when NDDC started and is passionate. And he has mentioned the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Ezenwo Nyesom Wike, who has been doing the needful in Abuja and showing the path for all those who would follow to ensure that projects are carried out and completed. But the MD did not forget to mention that, yes, we inherited projects that we're working on, but we have to balance it with new projects that are impactful to the society, and therefore we're completing some projects, we're looking at low-hanging fruits, and we're working as fast as possible to improve. One of the greatest initiatives of this management and board is Light Up the Niger Delta. Once there is light somewhere, all criminal elements run away. and people can carry out their businesses with enough energy and light. I'd like you to give a resounding round of applause to the Managing Director of the NDDC. Thank you very much. You have shown how much you have done in the short time you are here. You have talked about the history of the NDDC starting from Umpadek, and you have also told us where you are working on to improve whatever you found on ground. We thank you for your intervention. I'd like to put on record that although we've mentioned, and we did mention them earlier, we've mentioned all those who have come from far and near for the NDDC, we cannot fail to mention our homeboys and homegirls who are here. Would like to greet and welcome Festus Ahon, Chief Press Secretary to Governor of Delta State. We welcome you. Would like to welcome Nkem Weke, Chief Press Secretary to the Speaker, Delta State House of Assembly. Would like to welcome Nobert Chiazo, Executive Assistant Media to Governor of Delta State. Would like to welcome Felix Ufo, Executive Assistant New Media to Governor of Delta State. Nelson Egwari, Executive Assistant Media to Governor of Delta State. And to the lady I'm about to introduce, who we talked about much earlier before you came, Chairman and MD, we asked her not to lock the door on us because she's a home girl. And we say she's the one who will show us around. We must mention her, Mrs. Christine Emetulu, General Manager, Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba. We have Churchill Oyowe, Chairman, Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, Delta State. Stella Macaulay, Vice Chairman, NAWOJ, South Nigeria. Sonia Onubunjo, Chairman, NAWOJ, Delta State. Godfrey Osakwe, Chairman, NIPR, Delta State Chapter. And also would like to greet and welcome the Chairman, NUJ Chapel for Delta State. We welcome you here. We thank you for being here with us. Would also like to mention someone who I'll probably, before I leave, find a cane. She's my staff. The young must grow, and they shall grow, and we support them. The General Manager, NT Asaba, Christy Badung, she's here. And I was wondering why I have not seen fresh fish in my room since I arrived. Abi, you're not here, so I come this town. Imagine. But I see you. We welcome you, and we congratulate you. This is the time we begin the question and answer session. And there is a process. At this point, I will ensure that you understand that this question and answer session will be clinically managed because we can't answer all the questions. I'd like to crave the indulgence of the Director of NDDC, Mrs. Wakama, to step forward to the place where the master of ceremony is to clear a few things. But before we get to that position that I need her to be here for a while, the strategy for the Q&A session is to enable us get as many questions as possible within the limited time of 30 to 40 minutes. First rule of the thumb is that once the microphone gets to you, you introduce yourself, your organization, and your question. Please stay, we appeal, with one question, because I would bring you to a halt if you give us a multi-dimensional, multi-pronged, multi-project question, because there are other people who want to ask questions. So I encourage you to keep it brief to enable others to participate. I'm also an Equal Opportunities Director of Ceremony, so I'd appreciate some questions from the... Please don't leave it to only the men. I'm sure the Managing Director wants to hear from some of the women as well. Questions that can be answered throughout. This is the reason for which we are gathered. Just give me a minute for consultation.
It is now time for the question and answer. But before then, I would like to tell us about the Rewind to Rebirth framework of the NDDC, which places emphasis on accountability, transparency, and tangible results. And of course, this mantra aligns with the Commission's commitment to active progress.
The NDDC, under the leadership of the chairman, Chedu Ebie, and the managing director, Samuel Ogbuku, pinned their administration thrust on public-private partnership to ensure sustainable development of the region.
Hands. Thank you very much. Question and answer session. I'd like also to put on record that the Deputy Managing Director of this day has sent his apologies. He was bereaved, Mr. Kayode Komolafe, so he cannot make it. But he sends his warm regards from the This Day family to the board chair and the MD. At this point, we begin the question and answer session. Show of hands, please.
Your name and your medium as you ask a question.
Women, don't fall my hand.
Yes. First, I say congratulations to NDDC at 25 and the management team. I am Jimmy Tuta Unoime of the Vanguard newspaper. When the MD spoke, he talked about a beauty pageant that is part of the lineup for the 25th anniversary. Historically, I think in our system here, beauty pageants appear to be associated with a private sector-driven activity. So I've been wondering why this appears to be, and it appears this is the first time the NDDC will be doing this. So some persons have been asking questions around this, particularly as it relates to the core mandate of the Commission as an interventionist agency to tackle critical issues of that development. Maybe, sir, respectfully, sir, you really want to understand how relevant is this beauty pageant to your core mandates as an interventionist agency? Maybe this is an opportunity to throw light on it.
Thank you very much. The director will take the first 3 questions, after which he will answer, then I'd like us to stay with core first. If you are not a core journalist, please don't ask a question at this time. The press conference is for us who are journalists and broadcasters. Please say what your platform is. The MD is taking notes.
The MD, I join other stakeholders to congratulate you on the 25th anniversary. My name is Ola Adebayo. I work for leadership. Sir, what are the challenges bedeviling optimal performances by the NDDC, particularly the issue of funding? I want to know if the IOCs are meeting their obligations to NDDC, and if you have got the backlog of commitment by the federal government to NDDC. Thank you.
Please let the persons asking the question come from a platform, newspaper, radio, online. Thank you. For now.
Managing Director, Chairman of the Board, my name is Felix Eko, Managing Editor, Newsnet Nigeria. When I listened to the MD, perhaps I didn't listen well. I wanted to know the commitment of NDDC in the area of agriculture. So far, from the various pictures, from the slides, I can't see, I'm yet to see agricultural settlements. What is the commitment? Knowing fully well that our people are deeply committed to agriculture, and at a time like this, we need to go back to the farms.
The first 3 questions are up. The MD will take the microphone, answer those 3 questions, and will return to the floor when he's done. Thank you.
I want to start with the first question, which you asked about the reason for the diligent. Well, you see, as part of our 25 years anniversary celebration, we have people who are interested in sponsoring different events. So our core events, which the NDDC is handling, are this one, the Youth and Women Conference, and the plenary. When it comes to the Arts and Culture Festival, we have stakeholders, corporate bodies that have come together to say they also want to join in celebrating 25 years. You cannot stop them from joining you to celebrate your 25 years. That is the way they want to join in contributing towards celebrating the Niger Delta, in making it colorful. So we also have to accept their contributions. So, because we believe in partnership. Partnership does not only necessarily mean in construction of roads or building of schools. Maybe you as an individual, you felt, okay, your contribution is this is what you want to do. We're not going to start calling names of those who are doing that. Some of them, they don't want to be known. But this is how they felt they can also support in celebrating 25 years of NDDC. So the Saturday Gala Night, our major event is the awards, which we want to give to stakeholders who have actually contributed in supporting this NDDC. From inception till date, most of them are founding fathers that are still alive. We also need to celebrate them. This event, we can't put all together during the plenary in the morning. So we have to now take that to the Gala Night. So Gala Night, I think somebody will not ask me that, why must we bring a DJ to come and play for people to dance? So at least the Gala Night goes with music, it goes with dance, it goes with also eating too. So celebration cannot actually be narrowed to one thing. So if somebody says, even you yourself that asks, if there's anything you want to add to, we are willing to accept to make it colorful. Thank you. Then Shola Adebayo asked about the funding challenges of NDDC. I can assure you that since we came on board, one thing the IOCs complained for the reason why they have been reluctant in paying their contributions to the NDDC was when we met with OPTS, they told us that one of their major concern was that NDDC was not carrying out projects in their areas of operations. And when they told us that, we made one commitment with them, that being a new board and management, we are going to deviate from that to ensure that we start carrying out projects in their areas of operation. And what did we do differently? We now also incorporated them into our budget committee. So as I speak, they have a representative in our budget committee. So while we are preparing our budget, they also bring up projects in areas of operations. So having seen that we're implementing that agreement, I can assure you that they are doing better now than before. They have improved. And this can also be seen in the partnership we are going with them. Just last week, Friday, at least some of you saw me in Bonny, where we are going to build the 27.1 kilometer Bonny Ring Road, which was awarded by NDDC and abandoned. That project is now in partnership between NDDC and NLNG. The contractor has been mobilized, and the people of Bonny are happy today. So that is a project that is also going to help the NLNG. In addition to that, we are also in that partnership, the Asaba commissioning by ending of this year. That is also in the operational area of NLNG. The Okrika Brokri Road and Bridge is also in that same partnership. So these are all projects that at least they are happy that we are now carrying out projects in their areas of operations. And you see, going forward, we have also committed most of them into partnership. Like we are discussing with Chevron for Delta State, how to construct the Madino Escravos Road, which is about 67 kilometers long, and several bridges. And we felt, let us do it in partnership with NLNG. We have met with the Delta State government, with Chevron, sorry. We have met with the Delta State government. The Delta State government is willing. Chevron, I think they are willing, but they are also trying to get their partners, which is NMPC, on board to that. So we have met 5 times, and they can see the seriousness on the part of NDDC. So these are the things we are doing. So we are saying, don't wait for us to come and carry out projects in areas of your operations. The ones we can do together, let us do together, because you're also contributing towards the funding of NDDC. So right now, they have our confidence. They know that, yes, the NDDC that they know today is different from the NDDC they used to know yesterday. This NDDC is NDDC under the renewed hope that has brought hope to the people of the Niger Delta, and they are willing to also contribute more. So I can assure you that their contributions have increased and it has improved. For the federal government has also improved on their funding to the NDDC. That is what I can say. I cannot sit down there and accuse the federal government of stifling us to fund. The federal government under this present administration, I can assure you, has funded NDDC more than any other government. Thank you. Yes, the last one is, you talked about agric. Let me tell you one of the major areas that, to prove to you that we're very, very committed to agric. When we came on board, NDDC had this partnership with Life ND, and NDDC had not paid its commitment. But when we came on board, as I speak to you, NDDC have paid its own commitment to that partnership to help agriculture in the region. That is the IFAD, the Life ND. So now we have other agricultural programs which has to do with training, and going beyond that, you know, NDDC came up with the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, which we actually midwifed. The Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce was actually established to also help small and medium-scale enterprises, especially those in agriculture. And we committed funds. In our budget, we have a provision of 30 billion to support the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, which we have released the initial 5 billion naira to the Chamber of Commerce. And many persons today are registered with the Chamber of Commerce. The reason why we use that structure is for transparency. Today, nobody comes to NDDC to say, give us our slot to benefit from this. So for you to benefit, you must be a registered member of the Chamber of Commerce. So the Chamber of Commerce now deals with its members. So I think it is a structured process that we're using so that we insulate ourselves from all those pressures of people coming to say, give us 2 slots, give us 5 slots. So NDDC owes nobody no slot. So all those who are interested, you have business in agriculture, go and register with the Chamber of Commerce, and through the Chamber of Commerce, you get your support which you deserve. So NDDC is carrying out so many programs. For agriculture, that is the next phase we really want to face as a management and board, because that is the area where Mr. President's focus is. And we have been told by Mr. President that we also focus on agriculture to ensure that we guarantee food security here in the Niger Delta. So what we want to do first in doing this, because we believe we cannot do it in isolation, NDDC must work with the state governments. So we want to start by holding a mini retreat where we have all the commissioners of agriculture from the 9 states, where we look at how our agricultural roadmap will be in the 9 states. And once we finish with that process, we'll now go into the agricultural summit of the Niger Delta, where we'll come together and decide a master plan for agriculture in the Niger Delta, which will now be what will be following. In areas where we need to grow rice, we have to come together to grow rice. In areas where we have to improve on palm oil, let us improve on it. In areas where we have to improve on cassava, let us improve on that. They will also look at the industrialization of agriculture too, not just for subsistence, so that we can ensure that we have both the finished product and also the raw materials in the Niger Delta. So we are working on it. We don't just want to do it because we just want to make a name. In the past, we have seen all what NDDC had done. NDDC had a rice mill in Elele, and that rice mill has its own challenges.
So we don't just want to start. NDDC used to have a farm too, somewhere in River State here too. And most of these things died. So we don't just want to run these things alone. We want to carry the state governments along so that we know that whatever we're doing and any funds we're spending, let it be sustainable. So just be a little bit patient. We're following Mr. President's directive. Thank you.
MD, we appreciate your candor. I don't even know why, this gentleman not like me. At 63, I can attempt the beauty pageant. And if I would, I'll get some money. Or I will get something. I don't know. Whatever the prize is, I'm inside. I beg. Let us do for all elder states people so that we go do beauty pageant. Now this kind of cloth we go to wear. Just take note. Okay. Having said that, a woman's hand has gone up, but I also want to assure the managing director and the board chair that this room, we may not have had seats because there are some editors of newspapers that have been stuck at airports since morning. There's been a bit of an aviation crisis for some airlines, and I was at the airport for nearly 8 hours yesterday before I could get into Asaba. So there are some journalists, colleagues of ours, top echelon members, editorial board members who are stuck at airports. So, they are not here, but they've been sending their good wishes for all that is going on. Again, I want to recognize China Global Television Network Head, Kelechi, is here. We thank you. And so the microphone is going around for the next 3 persons.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Director Ogbuku with FRCN. Given the Niger Delta's history of oil-related environmental damage, what specific NDDC-led remediation or conservation programs are in place and what progresses have been made so far? Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kelechi Emekalam, and I work with China Global Television Network. Well, you've shared your scorecards, sir, and I'd like that you please share some specific plans and projects on your next phase of development initiatives, perhaps with specific timelines as well.
My name is Lolade Akim-Relade, Deputy Editor of Business Day. I'll get straight to the point. My first question is around what you said earlier, sir, that you've been mandated by the President to complete all abandoned projects. I'd like to get a sense of the number of abandoned projects before your board was constituted and how many you've completed now and plans for those that haven't been completed yet. And quickly, the second question is about a brief implementation report of your 1.9 trillion naira budget for 2024. Thank you.
I'd like to invite the Managing Director to take those 3 questions that just came through. One from FRCN, one from CGTN, and one from Business Day. Thank you, MD.
Well, I think let me start with the first one, which is the question for conservation. I think on the issue of conservation, last time we went for the COP in Dubai, we actually initiated a process of partnering with some persons that will also start with the afforestation of mangrove, especially in the Niger Delta, because our environment has been degraded, and because of the degradation of our environment, we thought it also very, very important to intervene. And in intervening, we also have to look at the
also have to look at the challenges of global warming. Warming has affected our environment. But we also have to look at it from two ways. While you are also working towards conserving, we also evaluated the limitations we have. We don't have the powers to stop gas flaring. As much as we cannot stop gas flaring, which is bringing down acidic rain, which is affecting the conservation you're talking about, because it affects even the agriculture too. Some of our staples today are no more growing because of some of this. So research has shown us that too. So it's not something that is a one-way traffic. It is something that, we and other agencies of government have to come together to see how we can work on it. Now, in the afforestation of our mangrove, we also have the challenges of artisanal oil refining. The artisanal oil refining has actually damaged our vegetation more than any other kind of environmental pollution we can think of. So now, most of our mangrove have been damaged by artisanal oil refining. But I also want to say thanks to this present administration for doing very well by ensuring that, they reduce the level of artisanal oil refining in the creeks. Once that is curtailed, then we can now move in. But we cannot move in without all these things being done. Because whatever you do and you don't manage the outcome, then you still go back to the same process again. So we're in touch, we're also watching, we're discussing, and we're also trying to engage the relevant authorities to see how we can move in, because for us it's a major concern to us. So it's not something that is rocket science that will just stand up and say we are awarding one contract for anybody to go and clean our environment. No. Every agency of government must to achieve this. So I can assure you that we are consulting and we're in the afforestation of our mangrove. We also have the challenges of artisanal oil refining. The artisanal oil refining has actually damaged our vegetation more than any other kind of environmental pollution we can think of. So now most of our mangrove have been damaged by artisanal oil refining. But I also want to say thanks to this present administration for doing very well by ensuring that, they reduce the level of artisanal oil refining in the creeks. Once that is curtailed, then we can now move in. But we cannot move in without all these things being done. Because whatever you do and you don't manage the outcome, then you still go back to the same process again. So we're in touch, we're also watching, we're discussing, and we're also trying to engage the relevant authorities to see how we can move it, because for us it's a major concern to us. So it's not something that is rocket science that will just stand up and say we are awarding one contract for anybody to go and clean our environment. No. Every agency of government must to achieve this. So I can assure you that we are consulting and we're engaging too on that. Then the next phase is specific timeline. Like I told you, our next phase, one of the major areas we want to concentrate on is agriculture, because we have to ensure our target is to use agriculture to fight crime, underdevelopment, and poverty in the Niger Delta. Because as Niger Delta people, one thing we have come to see, the only thing we can control the indices is agriculture. We cannot control the indices of crude oil because we are not the ones selling the crude oil. And by the time today, crude oil, the price has gone up, tomorrow the price has come down. But for that which we control the variables is what you grow on your land. And because that is what you grow on your land, for us, while we want to focus on it, we are going to carry out research to see why some staples are no more growing in the Niger Delta. If it means we trying to ensure that the soil is enriched for us to have them, we do that. So summarily, we are going to concentrate very, very well on agriculture and also human capital development. Human capital development is also very, very important. And in developing human capital development, that is why we decided to do things digitally and not just to do it arbitrarily. In the past, once there is training for youth, women in the Niger Delta, it was done in a way that, few persons just benefit. But we are now going through having data For us, first things first, we must ensure that for anything we do, there must be data. That is why we decided to subject our next phase of human capital development to data. When we came up with the Project Hope, it was a process where you need to register in that portal to be in the database so that whatever your needs are, we're meeting you at the points of your area of competence. Because in the past, funds were wasted where you see somebody who probably is not interested in tailoring, and you see you're doing program for tailoring, and somebody have to submit 20 names, and you submit names of your friends and family members, and they're not even interested. So once they get these starter packs, they sell them. But now, with the data we're using, you must ensure that whatever you feel in is in the area where we contact you. So you don't need to come to Port Harcourt. That is why I see these days our gates are very, very empty. People don't come and crowd our gates anymore. Because wherever you are, we'll meet you. If you're in Asaba, if you're in Akure, so long as you're qualified, and once you are registered, we'll definitely reach out to you. Not everybody will benefit at the same time. But the surest thing is that anybody who has benefited from one of our programs cannot benefit from another program again. That is why we are trying to synchronize the data. You know, when we started with Project Hope, and we now also started with the youth internship scheme, we have had some delay in the youth internship scheme because we were running these two side by side, but we had to put a pause. So for like 2 months or so, or 3 months now, we have had a pause because we are trying to integrate the Project Hope portal and that of the youth internship scheme so that people will not escape to say they benefited from Project Hope, they want to come and benefit from youth internship scheme. So that integration process is on, which will be finished by next week. And once that is finished, we'll now come back again. So we're now migrating 2 of them, integrating them to make up the NDDC Renewed Hope Empowerment Scheme. So that is going to be the new name now. But the data will be there, the beneficiaries so far will be there, and whatever they are being owed for these 3 months, they will be paid. But we don't want a situation whereby we create escape route for those who want to be mischievous. So our next focus, we are taking all these steps because that also shows you our next focus, human capital development. So that let us empower the right people and not empowering the wrong people. Just imagine all the funds NDDC have spent in the past all these years. You yourself as a journalist, you cannot really go anywhere to get the data to know how many persons have been trained. But with this process, that shows accountability and transparency. You can also query that data. You can also check. So that is where we're making this difference. So that is our next phase. So when you talk about timeline, the timeline is within the period of our administration because we have just maybe some months or let's say years to go. Anything we're doing, we are looking at ensuring that we pass the baton to the next management and board quality. We pass to them what never existed in NDDC. We pass to them at least an organization that is strong. So building that strong structure is what we are putting in place. So when we talk about time frame, I cannot tell you in the next 1 year, this is what we want, but it's a continuous process. So all these things are happening, but everything we want to achieve them within our time. When we talk about infrastructural development, we're also going to focus on infrastructural development because infrastructural development is what the people of the Niger Delta too need. But we're also looking at starting projects that we can finish and not projects that cannot finish. So that is what I will say about the issue of civics and timeline. Then the last question was based on our 2024 budget, talking about the 1 trillion. I can assure you that the implementation process is ongoing, 1.9 trillion. But we as management and board did not go for the 1 trillion loan. The 1 trillion, the budget itself is 900 billion. The 1 trillion component of it was supposed to be the loan component. But with the 2024 budget, 2025 budget, when we saw that there was an increment on the part of the federal government on the monthly allocation of the NDDC, when we did our maths, the chairman called all of us together. We sat down in the board meeting, we looked at it. We said, if we go for this loan, if it is not a grant from federal government, or if the federal government is not taking it on our behalf, the interest rate is going to be X high. So, and if it will take us 5 years to pay it, what burden is it going to put on the commission? So we looked at it, we felt if the federal government has also improved on its allocation to the NDDC, which creates some surplus, why don't we use that surplus and rather fund some of these projects that are the legacy projects which we wanted to fund from that loan, rather than going for the loan. And as a team, we decided to opt for, dropping the loan for now and working based on the increment, which I think the Niger Delta Bush should applaud us. Because we're also mindful of the fact of the pressures it will put on us. And also, not only us, what about those who will come after us? So we're very, very mindful of all these things because we are men that at least have conscience and we are willing to serve the people of the Niger Delta. So we made that decision and that is where we stand for now. But if there is any changes, we will also come and tell you, but that is where we stand for now. What the chairman directed that in the board meeting, that those extras we are going to get from the 2025 budget, that the management should open a special account where those extras, as the federal government allocation comes every month, should be paid into that account so that we separate the old money and the extra, so that we can now be using that in replicating whatever we're supposed to use for the loan to fund that project. So that is where we are on the 1.9 trillion. I thought I should use this opportunity to explain to everybody to understand, so that people don't just think that we have 1.9 trillion that we are sitting on. So we did not have it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MD. At this point, we have only 4 questions left for the 10 questions we intend to have. I can see 1 female hand, 1 male hand, and I've picked 2. Let me let you pick the other 2. So I have the gentleman, the lady here, and the gentleman, and then you can pick the other 2. But all 4 questions now, and except the MD decides to add 2 more questions, our 4 questions are done. If the MD gives us the opportunity to take a few more questions, we will. But for now, we have 4 questions. The first 2 are coming from the lady first. Yes, I can see her. And after that, there's a gentleman here. The first 2 questions come from the 2 of you. The lady here, the gentleman in white, and then after that, you do all the others.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Anne Godwin of The Guardian. I want to find out from you, sir. First of all, congratulations for the 25th anniversary. Yes, I want to find out what's the next chapter after now, because 25 represents grace or redemption. What is the next chapter? What are we looking up to? And I would also like to ask if you have plans for elections, because we've been receiving some stories and grapevine that you have a global ambition. So can you please clarify that now? Thank you.
My name is Thelma Eliog. I'm of the NTA. My question is, congratulations, by the way. My question is, erosion is threatening most communities in the Niger Delta. Delta North here in particular. I want to know if you have any intervention towards that. If not, do you have that in your to-do list? Or would you put that in your to-do list as you're doing your needs assessments?
Thank you very much. My name is Chido Oka for the Guardian newspaper. The previous board complained that they were saddled with too many projects, that at the time they left, they said they had about 2,000 projects scattered across the Niger Delta. If you do the maths, that's a lot for each state. They resolved that they were going to revoke a lot of contracts so that they could handle the major projects that will improve the living standards of people in the Niger Delta. I want to find out, sir, in this new board, did the previous board hand over that recommendation to you? And have you revoked any projects in line with that, their view? Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, MD. Let me join my colleagues to congratulate you and the NDDC on your silver 25th anniversary. My question is like a reminder. It was my original question, but one of our colleagues took it. That's based on the president's mandate to you to complete abandoned projects, which as at 2024, you told us we're about 900. Now, please, can you tell us between then and now, how many of those abandoned projects you have completed? What was spent on them? What number is left? And what timeline do you have to complete the rest? Thank you very much.
MD, sir, you may answer the questions.
Well, let me start with the last one, because that sounds very, very interesting. You know, those days before I came into government, I could remember I used to tell myself that if I'm in power, I don't think everybody will be poor. How much is the allocation of a state government? Just share 1 million to everybody, everybody will be fine. That was my understanding of government as at then. Then I didn't know that government used to pay salaries. Government had other obligations. So, you know, when you are out there, yes, you are right to ask certain questions, but when you face the reality, you'll understand that it's not as easy as you think. When you talk about cancellation of projects, you don't just come and start canceling projects. There are contractual agreements, which will bring about a lot of litigations. Because for you to even take up a project that has been abandoned, you must understand, one, the Procurement Act. There are so many issues of variation all over the place. And some of these contracts that have been abandoned, they have payment certificates, obligations that we need to also pay them. So if you've not paid the contractor, how do you tell the contractor to leave the site? On the other hand, the Procurement Act says once the variation of a project is more than 15%, it is due for cancellation and reward. But as much as the variations are far more than that 15%, you also have to look at the specific projects you're really interested in. You don't just wake up and say you want to start, completing all the abandoned projects. How many years do you have at hand? You must also know that in the Niger Delta, we have only 4 months of dry season, which is November, December, January, February. Thereafter, rain starts. So you must also ensure you prioritize, because you cannot spread yourself too thin. So for us, we are also targeting those legacy projects. why don't we put our funds together to complete those legacy projects? The ones we have to partner to complete, we partner to complete them. I just give examples here. The Okrika Burukri Road and Bridge was awarded in 2012. And that project was abandoned since then. Today, we have undertaken that project in partnership with NLNG to start and finish it. The contractors are mobilized to site. The same thing with the Bonny Ring Road. The same thing with the Asaba Bridge. So many projects like that. Like I mentioned the Okitipupa electrification. That project was abandoned. The people of that area lost hope. But today, they are happy with NDDC and the federal government of Nigeria. So we have to look at such critical projects, the heavy ones, not all the small 1 kilometer road and 2 kilometer road. You cannot go into every project right now. So the funds that are limited, which we have to look at how to put those funds into critical projects that will serve the people of the Niger Delta better. That is why the directives that we are given is to complete old, abandoned legacy projects. Some of these projects, good amount of money have been paid. Billions have been paid. So we need to go back to those projects to add value to whatever that has been expended before, so that we don't waste the money of the people of the Niger Delta. So to answer that question, we cannot just wake up and just say we are chasing all the contractors and we just want to complete them. Some of them, there are complications. And those complications, some of them are things we don't want to go into. So I will not sit in front of all of you here and say the timeline we have, that before we leave, out of the so-called number of uncompleted projects you are talking about, I don't know where you got the data from, that I will tell you that out of it we are going to complete half. We will not lie to you. But we have critical projects that we want to complete. And most of them, we are going into partnership. And the ones we are going into partnership, be rest assured that they are going to be completed. Others will also undertake them. And those ones we are going to undertake, we are going to make sure we complete them too. So some of them we are still negotiating with the contractors. Some of the contractors, we are begging them to also leave the project so that we can reward them. Some of them, they don't want to. And you cannot also just force them. The next thing is to be subjected to litigation and that project will just die. So we're also taking our time, massaging some of them, their ego, and we're also thanking those ones that have also decided to comply with us. So I think that answer goes to the last two questions that talked about timeline and also the legacy projects. But as we have completed some, just be rest assured that those ones will still follow. And, the lady that talked about the erosion in Delta North. Erosion is one of the major problems in the Niger Delta. Delta North is not facing it alone. Edo State is also the worst hit when you talk about gully erosion. And we are discussing with the government, especially we had a discussion in Edo State, like my minister had directed that we to discuss with the governor of Edo State to see how we can come together to handle most of those serious gully erosions, especially in the northern part of Edo State. Some of them, if you see them, they are eyesore. Recently, we were supposed to go and commission a 7.5 kilometer road in Edo State. But by the time the contractor finished, that commissioner was supposed to be last week. When our team went to Edo State in advance to check the road, they realized that the road leading to where we want to go and commission, gully erosion has cut off the road. So we asked ourselves, are we going to follow through bush path to go and commission a good road? We said it will be, for the optics, it will not be nice. So we decided not to go for that commissioning again. So we said, let us see how we can fix that area. Because we are an interventionist agency and the people need our attention. So it will be wrong for us to bypass them to go and commission a road and leave the place. So we have taken it upon ourselves to see that, yes, before we go and commission that road, let us try and fix that area that the road has cut off. We have done so many interventions, even in Edo State between Auchi to Irua. all of you know how that place was before. NDDC under us did the magic. Today, a road that was not passable for 5 years, today people are passing that road. So this is the kind of interventions we undertake. We are taking heavy interventions because for us, we see it as a responsibility. So we are not running away from it. So for the erosion, we are trying to look at it holistically. It is everywhere. That is a common challenge. Even the East-West Road to last year, when not moved between Bayelsa and Rivers, we were able to intervene and it was passable. So we are taking serious challenges that I think people never believe that NDDC can undertake. But for us, based on Mr. President directives, we must carry out these instructions to keep NDDC alive. So the last one, the lady asked about if I'm contesting election. Well, I want to say I've never told anybody I'm contesting election. For now, Mr. President has given me an assignment, and the assignment I have is to do the job of the Managing Director, CEO of NDDC. And my interest for now is to ensure that I have the concentration to do this job according to the dictates of Mr. President, serve the people of the Niger Delta. If there is any election I'm interested in, I believe everybody will ask why. The election I'm interested in is Mr. President's re-election. Because for those who talk about, I want to run elections, if Mr. President does not win, how do I run an election? So Mr. President must win. So that is the election in front of me right now. So all those politicians who try to distract us by putting in the papers and doing all that, not only the politicians, even the people on the streets who try to hang some billboard, try to campaign on our behalf, I want to plead with them, let them convert that energy to campaign for Mr. President for him to win, please. So I want to believe this will put that question to rest. So as media people, when people bring such stories to you, please just discountenance such questions. I am loyal to Mr. President, and my interest is to see Mr. President win his re-election. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MD. MD didn't give me a nod. We still have, I'd like us, first of all, to give a round of applause to the Managing Director. The Army just gave him an award. He's an award-winning Managing Director. I had mentioned earlier that if you have questions that you want to be taken, I will give you her email address. Please write it down. Seledi.thompson@nddc.gov.ng. Seledi.thompson@nddc.gov.ng. That is the director's email. Then we have nddceditor@gmail.com. nddceditor@gmail.com. That's the department. And we have cad@nddc.com. ad@nddc.com. Pressing questions, you put it there, the MD will address it and they will reply you. The director has assured me of that from that end. I think it is worthy to give the Managing Director of NDDC and his team a true round of applause. I have only an interest in the renewed agenda and the election of Mr. President for him to win. Those are quotable quotes today from the Managing Director of NDDC on account of whether he has political ambition. Those are the points he has made today at this World Press Conference of the NDDC 25th. At this moment, I'm aware we have a 5-minute window. Mr. MD, there is a ceremony before we take the vote of thanks, and the gentleman from the NUJ who has that responsibility would be anywhere among us here. The state chairman, NUJ, Delta State, is making his way to come and provide that award. For the purposes of the press, who already know you, you will give your full names, your position, and then the award will be on its way. You'd like to tell us where they should stand? Here? Here? Is this a good place to invite the MD, because this place is a bit crowded? Here will be a good place.
The state NUJ of the Delta State NUJ is now presenting an award of excellence to the Managing Director, CEO of NDDC. And during the questions and answer session, the MD answered questions bordering on education and funding by the IOCs. Of course, in agriculture, the MD noted that.
No, it's better there. Go down there. NUJ, down there.
MD noted that NDDC aligns with President Bola Tinubu's vision for agriculture in ensuring that the Commission utilize agriculture as a platform for peace and security in the region. He also reflected on the agricultural programs of the federal government, saying that the interventionist agency has trained over 200 women and youth in livestock farming, as well as partner the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, to promote or provide apprenticeship for residents of the region. And on issues bordering on erosion, the MD noted that the Commission is doing its best to address erosion in the Niger Delta region. And he said that erosion is a major challenge in the region and that the Commission will partner state governments in addressing those challenges.
The Chairman, Governing Board, NDDC, the Managing Director,
Samuel Ogbuku, PhD, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Dr. Samuel Ogbuku is a distinguished public administrator, development expert, and visionary leader whose life and career reflects uncommon dedication to the advancement of the Niger Delta region and Nigeria at large. A native of Ayakoro in Obia local government area of Bayelsa State, Dr. Ogbuku began his academic journey at Christ the King School in Port Harcourt and proceeded to the government secondary school, Burkiri. He obtained his Bachelor of Science degree in Political and Administrative Studies from the University of Port Harcourt in 2000. Driven by a passion for deeper impact, he pursued a postgraduate diploma in sociology, industrial relations, and personnel management in 2002, a master's degree in development studies in 2013, and ultimately earned a doctorate in development studies in 2021. His public service career commenced in 2005 when he served as personal assistant to the Special Assistant to the Minister of State for Petroleum. Between 2007 and 2012, he was Chief of Staff to the Bayelsa State Government under Governor Timi Silva. Thereafter, he distinguished himself in private enterprise as the MD and CEO of Fulfilled Farms Nigeria Limited, and later served as Senior Special Assistant on Niger Delta Affairs to the Deputy Senate President. In January 2023, Dr. Ogbuku was appointed Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission. His appointment was renewed in February 2025 in recognition of his outstanding performance. Under his stewardship, the NDDC has witnessed transformative change, delivering over 5,000 kilometers of roads, 42 bridges, 87 jetties, and several landmark projects such as the 25.7-kilometer Obianembe Road and the 600-meter Ibeno Bridge. He has led groundbreaking efforts in healthcare, restoring free medical outreach that has served over 45,000 patients and facilitated more than 20,000 surgeries, alongside the distribution of over 27,000 eyeglasses, 88,900 typhoid vaccines, and 13 ambulances. In education and youth development, Dr. Ogbuku's initiatives have resulted in over 2,700 foreign scholarships, the rehabilitation of 924 schools, the construction of 1,571 hostels, and the distribution of over 107,000 educational materials. Through Project Hope, he has empowered more than 10,000 youths with monthly stipends, skills training, and job placement pathways. A strong advocate of peace and regional stability, he institutionalized the Department of Dispute and Conflict Resolution within the NDDC, promoting community engagement and stakeholder collaboration across the 9 mandate states. For his visionary leadership and transparent service, Dr. Ogbuku has received numerous national recognitions, including the Public Service Award at the Sun Awards 2024, presented in March 2025. The Outstanding Leadership Award by the Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered. The Excellence in Public Service Award by the Bayelsa State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. Dr. Samuel Ogbuku stands today as a transformative leader, a principled administrator, and a committed nation builder. His achievements at the NDDC underscore a legacy of service, vision, and sustainable development. For his sterling contributions to public service, regional development, and nation building, the Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ, Delta State Council, proudly honors Dr. Samuel Ogbuku with this award.
Once again, the Chairman, Governing Board, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to make this remark before we do the formal presentation of the award. We prepared 2 awards, one for the Chairman and one for the MD. But because of some typographical errors, we decided to take that back to the producer. We just want to believe that before we leave here, that of the Chairman will come. I just pray so. Secondly, we don't see you too often. It's an opportunity for us to say 1 or 2 things. We want to congratulate you, and we want to say Delta State journalists are pleased to have you in Delta State, Asaba, Delta State. We believe that as stakeholders, NDDC is a partner. We have about 1,000 journalists in Delta State. And one of our dreams as a council is to have a journalist village. We will be coming from time to time as stakeholders to partner the NDDC in this direction. Journalists, at the end of the day, when they work, they should have a home. they should have a home that they will call them their home, and it will be a legacy to tag that home after NDDC. So on that note, Mr. MD, that we want to present this award to you, tagged Champion of Transformative Leadership in the Niger Delta, to Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, in recognition of your visionary administration and impactful development stride as MD, CEO of NDDC. Today, Monday, 7th July, 2025 in Asaba, Delta State. Congratulations, sir.
Well, Mr. Chairman and everybody here, I want to say this award is well appreciated. I want to thank the NUJ Delta State for deeming it necessary that this award is given in appreciation of what we are doing in NDDC. This job is not done by me alone. We have a team starting from the board to the management and to the staff. Without their support, I don't think it would have been possible. So on that note, I want to dedicate this award to the board, the management, and the hard-working staff of NDDC. And I also want to use this medium to thank the Nigerian Army for the award and medal given to me yesterday in their Army Day celebration. I also want to dedicate that award to the board, the management, and the staff of NDDC. This shows that our activities are visible to the blind and very, very audible to the deaf. Yesterday's award was very, very prestigious. Unfortunately, I couldn't go in person because I had to attend to our Thanksgiving service in Akure. So I delegated someone to get that award. And the award was given to only 2 civilians, which is myself and the ML Bauchi. So I think for me, it is a very, very big honor the Nigerian Army has given to us as part of our support to the security agencies in the Niger Delta. NDDC, we have supported the security agencies in the Niger Delta because our relationship is intertwined. They are keeping the peace in the Niger Delta, and the only way we can compensate them is to encourage them by supporting them. Because without peace, there will be no development. And without development, there will be no peace. So our relationship is intertwined. That award is only going to spur us to do more for the security agencies and other affiliated agencies that are partners to the NDDC. Even the journalists, without the journalists also reporting the facts, stood would be and falsehood thrives a lot. For development to take place, the truth must be told. We're not saying journalists should not report our wrongdoings. That is what is going to also put us in check. That is what also is going to create check and balance. That is also going to encourage us to do better because we need it. Like as I said, we're not perfect. But where you see that we're going wrong, Where you can call us and advise us, call us and advise us. Do not scandalize us. We can take advice, we'll work on advice, and we can make that difference. Because we're here to serve the people of the Niger Delta. So I believe this award is to further build the partnership and the relationship between the journalists in the Niger Delta and the NDDC. We know you have challenges, areas where we can also support to ensure that your job is carried out easily. Why not? We'll support you. Because journalism is very, very key to every society. Journalism is also a veritable tool for national security. Because if a journalist publishes what can incite society, that damage it will create before society will realize so much that in place. So you are also very, very important to the national security of Nigeria and also to the development of Nigeria. So you have done very well. For us, this award is very, very important to us as NDDC. This stands as a partnership between we and the Nigeria Union of Journalists. We appreciate it and want to say thank you on behalf of all of us. I am saying thank you.
The MDCO appreciating the Delta State Chairman of the NUJ for the award. He has pledged to partner the NUJ in the state to continue to perform dividends of democracy to the people.
Congratulations to the director. Let's hear another round of applause for the NDDC, please. And when the managing director received his award, he dedicated to staff NDDC. This is the time when staff of NDDC in the room will be upstanding so we can clap for them. NDDC staff, I can't see you. Let's keep clapping. Oh. Your management is very proud of you. The board is very proud of you. Without the effort you put in, we will not be here. Chairman, Organizing Committee, you have also done very well by making this place so habitable for all of us, all members of board of NDDC, and we also thank very much all executive directors who are here. Please be seated. Thank you very much. I would like to quickly announce that the managing director will escort his guests, media executives and top-level media persons here, to a small tete-a-tete where they will have some small bites. And he will also have with him the executive management and board and directors of NDDC. So when that time comes, there will be pointers of people who will lead management and board, but the managing director will be the leader-in-chief to show us where to have those bites. All other persons will be well taken care of. Again, the managing director will lead the executive management board, top media here. Will be taken care of here. When time comes, I'll let you know. It's time now for the vote of thanks. But before then, I just want to make a quick intervention. And at this point, as we begin to round up this program that has gone extremely well, and we are thankful to God for that, let me say that a 25-year-old man has come of age. In the past, he would already be married with 2 children. NDDC is 25. He will be the breadwinner of his family at 25. In the past, without a 25-year-old still is strong, they try. A 25-year-old woman would have come of age, would have been running a home, can hold down the strategic position. She is now chief driver of her family. 25 years, no be being so. we don't come of age for NDDC to show say we don't try. We fit buga small together with all our people them, community them, governors them, women's groups, stakeholders them, youth, all those where they help us. God knows say we don't try, we did try. We know say, when I know say we did manage to show say we fit try. We know say work still there, but we are doing our best. So, because of that, I make the man where they do the day-to-day can't get award from chairman NUJ. I make chairman of the board. And I've observed the chairman of the board, along with the managing director, the people like to speak English, not be small. In fact, where you hear them, they speak English, and the two of them, I don't know how it be when they converse for inside English. Oh, very powerful English like that. And then they speak very polished, very speaking English people, the two of them together. The president has chosen well. State governors, them. Stakeholders, them. Strategic partners, them. Our own personal persons, and all those who work in NDDC, and all our beneficiaries, media, MDs of media, DMDs, editors-in-chief, editors, directors, creme de la creme of the media, and other invited guests and gentlemen. You came, you heard, you saw. Our culture says you should celebrate with those who are celebrating. And so we count on your support going forward. It's now time to take the vote of thanks from Honorable Ifedayo Abegunde, Executive Director of Corporate Services, NDDC, as he comes to deliver the vote of thanks to bring this event to a close. We will invite Right Honorable Monday Iguya, Delta State Representative on the board of NDDC, to take the vote of thanks. Cheers.
Mr. Chairman of the Governing Board of NDDC, the Managing Director, Chief Executive of NDDC, members of the board, and management staff here seated. My assignment this afternoon is quite simple. First, let me, on behalf of Mr. Chairman, join the MD to welcome all of you to Delta. As you all know, I represent Delta in the board. So it is my pleasure to have all of you in my state, or our state. Having said that, I'd like to thank the chairman of the planning or organizing committee of this anniversary. You have done well. You are still doing well, and I believe you will continue to do well until the end of this ceremony. Indeed, I want to thank members of the press who are all gathered here, particularly the state chapter of NUJ and top echelon of the press that are all over the country that are here. My mandate is to thank you, wish you well, that as you go back, may God continue to bless and lead you home safely in Jesus' name. And of course, to our staff who are from far and near, Delta, Waibom, Imo, Rivers, Undo, Cross River, Bayelsa, that are here. We thank you so much for all the effort that you have put in to making sure that this ceremony is successful. I want to believe that the last part of today will be more better than this one that we have seen. It's my pleasure again to thank the Deltans, particularly government officials that are here. Thank you for your attendance. We believe that you are part of us. Whatever that we have done that we have not done well, like the MD said, please let us know and we'll take correction and do it well. So on that note, that I want to thank all of you for this wonderful occasion, for joining us in making sure that we celebrate NDDC at these 25 years of existence. Thank you and God bless.
And that concludes the Regional Development, or rather the NDDC, that's the Niger Delta Development Commission, as they address media in the capital of Delta, Asaba, as part of their 25th anniversary. This is a media parley between the media pressmen and, of course, the members of the NDDC, addressing the media on its developments and also on its goals and agendas for the last year and what they intend to do for the next 25 years ahead of the 25th anniversary of the agency. We will take a short break. We'll bring you the major news at this time, but after this break, stay with us.